Welcome back, one and all. Thank you so much for joining us here on Gameyaaad TV for yet another video. Yes, my viewers and subscribers, I know that you would have gotten the breaking news that West Indies would have been bowled out for 27 on the third day of the third test between Australia and the West Indies. And I mean, I was at the ground yesterday to witness that embarrassing defeat, and I mean it has traumatized so many West Indians. I mean, the truth of the matter is that a lot of West Indians are just giving up hope on West Indies cricket, and they stop coming out to the games because of these type of defeat that they have been witnessing over the years. And yesterday was another nail in the coffin. This was nothing short of disgrace at every level. Not even one batter came out and tried to show some character at the middle. Yes, we know that the pitch was difficult, or the conditions would have been difficult to bat in. But this is international cricket. We have to show some character as a team. We cannot just lie down and die like that. It's like our batters, they have no clue as to what was going on. I would have seen, and this I'm not trying to even get personal here with any cricket. I respect these guys because to play at the international level is nothing of a, it's something special. So to play at the highest level of cricket, so I have utmost respect for all of these guys, these West Indian players. But the way that even Kevlin Anderson would have been dismissed, and then to Michael Louis, because he was walking off the field, right? And Michael Louis, I guess, convinced him to take that review. That's one of the most horrific review I would have seen in cricket. And that's, I respect Kevlin Anderson, because he's one of our bright talents, especially in the West Indies Championship. So this is not any direct critic of Kevlin Anderson. I'm just looking on the things that would have transpired, and all due respect to all the players, right? But I mean, this is some tough part of the games that we just have to talk about. We cannot shy away from these things, so we have to talk about it. And so I think it was very distasteful to watch our guys being blown away like that. It left a deep imprint upon my mind of watching something like that. And a few questions I've been sat there yesterday, and I was reminiscing after the match. I think one of the questions that came into my mind is that, is the rubber hitting the road as it relates to the viability of West Indies playing test cricket? Will we see Australia tour the West Indies again to play a test series? Those are two of the most important questions that comes into my mind, because this is just annihilation. And I want to be as balanced and as objective as possible, because we cannot overlook what our bowlers would have done in this series. We have to be balanced. And I mean, a lot of emotions are running right across the region and even in the diaspora at this point. But we cannot overlook how great our fast bowlers would have been taken 60 Australian wicket across this 3-match test series. It's tough to digest. It's tough to digest. I know we would have made 47 in the past, 61, and 53, 54, but this, sitting there yesterday and just watching the game, one of the loudest cheer I would have heard at Sabina Park yesterday would have been that single. Not even the hat-trick taken by Scott Boland, or even the 3 wickets in the first over by Mitchell Starc, or Mitchell Starc reaching his 400th test wicket. It was this cheer of that single that would have taken us from 26 to 27. That was deafening. The decibel went so high when we would have gotten that single, because everybody was there, waiting to see if we are going to be skittled out for less than 26 runs. That's the lowest total ever in Test cricket. So we would have been bowled out now for the second lowest total in Test cricket history. And I'm going to, share with you some numbers. So I mean, the day would have started yesterday, and before I go into the stats, I think, having been at Sabina Park, I'm wondering if because of this late preparation of the stadium, I mean, the pitch was not prepared adequately, because even yesterday night I was scared for the Australian batting on the light. I'm telling you, it was mortally dangerous last night. That's Sunday night, when the Australians were batting on the light. I was, especially when Steve Smith, I'm not sure if Steve Smith was seeing the ball, but it was mortally dangerous. And that begs the question, is it that the pitch was not prepared adequately, or Darren Sammy and along with the curators would have prepared this pitch, a result-oriented pitch? But it was dangerous on the light. And the good thing is that, what if West Indies would have batted under that light? What would have happened? Probably the game would have been, done and dusted in the second day, probably. And if it is that we would have seen, similar. And to be honest with you, probably, and I would have said that a while ago, but probably Sabina Park pitch would have been the best pitch out of the 3 matches. And that's ironic, because I think probably the danger come because it was a pink ball test, which that I remember even, Alex Carey got a blow, flush on his helmet, Sunday night. So I was very, concerned about the safety of the Australians batting under the light. To be honest with you, with Alzarri Joseph, cranking up to 147 clicks, right? I mean, mid 140, that's scary, to watch. Even though we were, getting the wickets, but the health of the players would have been more concerned for me. And luckily they got through the night. They ended day 2 on 99 for 6. They had 22 runs yesterday. And I mean, it's only a naive, West Indian cricket fan would believe that, West Indies can make over 150 on this wicket, given that Australia, a much better team, find it difficult to make, 225 on this wicket, right? And when they, I mean, from the second innings got over 150, I know we were losing from there. And given the fact that we only could have managed 143 in the first innings, I know that we could not make that 143 batting fourth on this wicket, right? So we know that we would have lost the series, but to be bowled out for 27, I didn't see that coming, to be honest with you. And I think one of the questions that is in my mind is it that Darren Sammy and the curators, came up with the idea that we need to make these pitches a bit spicy to help our fast bowlers? But did we look on the other side as it relates to our batting? Because probably we did not do that. And the truth of the matter is, I already said on this podcast, I have seen some of our batters cannot play a good defensive stroke. And I'm not joking. And even yesterday again it came out. Some of these guys cannot play a good solid defensive stroke, and that is the base that for Test cricket. And the scary thing about it, we would have lost so badly in this series, and we don't have anybody better to draw from, any pool of player to draw from. I mean, there is argument that we can bring in, back Kavemaj and Alec Athanaze, Josh Da Silva and so forth, but will they do better? I'm not sure. Let's look on the scoreboard. I think there's nothing on this scoreboard to dissect. We would have been bundled out for 27 from 14.3 overs, right? Mitchell Starc would have taken 6 for 9 in 7.3 overs. Josh Hazlewood 1 for 10 from 5 overs, and Scott Boland 3 for 2 from his 2 overs, and Scott Boland would have taken an hat-trick. First I would have witnessed an hat-trick, and to how good Scott Boland was bowling his 3rd wicket, he would have hit the wicket. Clean bowl for his hat-trick. Clean bowl for his hat-trick. So at one point, West Indies were 0 runs, 3 wickets. I think it moved to 7 runs, 5 wickets, 11 for 6. It was crazy. It was crazy out there. I'm telling you, viewers and subscribers. Alright, let us share with you some of the records that would have tumbled yesterday at Sabina Park. Starc's quintuple strike reduced the West Indies to 7 for 5, the joint second lowest total at the fall of the 5th wicket. Right, India had 6 for 5 at the Oval in 1952, while Australia had also been 7 for 5 at Manchester in 1888. Both these were against England. The West Indies then became 11 for 6, yet again the joint second lowest total at the fall of the 6th wicket. Australia had been 7 for 6 at Manchester in 1888 and 11 for 6 at the Oval in 1896, both against England. The wicket also meant that the top 6 West Indian batters had 4 runs between them, the lowest ever. The Australian top 6 had 12 runs against England at Sydney in 1887-1888. The West Indies reached 26 for 6 before Scott Boland became the 10th Australian to complete a Test hat-trick. Hugh Trumbull and Jimmy Matthews did it twice. A run later, the West Indies were bowled out for the second lowest total in Test match history after New Zealand 26 against England at Auckland in 1954-1955. This was also the lowest total in the 4th innings of a Test and the lowest in a day-night Test match. At 14.3 overs, this was also the 3rd shortest all-out test innings. England had bowled out South Africa for 30 in 12.3 overs at Birmingham in 1924, while South Africa had bowled out Sri Lanka for 42 in 13.4 overs at Durban in 2024-2025. 7 West Indians, John Campbell, Kevlin Anderson, Brandon King, Rustan Chase, Shamar Joseph, Jomel Warrican, and Jaden Seals fell for ducks, setting a new world record. There were 9 previous instances of 6 in men's test cricket, the most recent being India at Cape Town in 2023-2024. Starc finished with 6 for 9 to become the 7th bowler to take 6 wickets or more in an innings with conceding fewer than 10 runs. Boland did it before with 6 for 7, and as well as Starc former captain Michael Clarke did it with 6 for 9 as well. Starc's 6 for 9 were also the first 5 wicket haul by a fast bowler, as well as the best figures by anyone in their 100th test match. The other was Muttiah Muralitharan 6 for 54, Shane Warne 6 for 161, and Ashwin 5 for 77, and Anil Kumble 5 for 89. Over the course of his spell, Starc became the 18th cricketer and 4th Australian to 400 wickets. Among left-arm fast bowlers, only Wasim Akram 414 has more test wickets than his 402. Starc's 6 for 9 also take him to 81 wickets in day-night tests, the most by the proverbial mile, with 43 apiece by Pat Cummins and Nathan Lyon are distant seconds. This was the 15th decided test match in history when no batter reached 50. So that was another record there at Sabina Park. I really hate that I was a part of, this historical event. To be honest with you, it was a traumatic experience. Watching our boys just, crumble under pressure. They just folded. Alright, I want to end this podcast, end on a positive note that we should not be, blinded to the fact that we have a great bowling lineup. And the truth is that we would have come up against arguably one of the greatest, quartet of modern test cricket. And being all out for 27 is very hard to see any positive from that kind of performance. But and also with that performance it makes the outlook for West Indies test cricket very grim. But we should not forget that we have a great fast bowling lineup, and at least we have something to hold on to, and I think we can from that base we can try to build the team better. The $1 million question is where do we go from here, and really don't have any answers now. I'm going to try and think through some more in terms of what would have transpired at Sabina Park yesterday. That's an all-time low for us. That's an all-time low. That's the lowest total West Indies would have made in a test match. And I think I'm going to think about it and try to come up with something. The truth is we have a great bowling lineup, and we can move from there. We can start there and move forward. We need some batters in the region. And if it means that we have to start to look in the diaspora now for players, because obviously our championship here in the West Indies doesn't make sense, right? Because you have a player like Kevlan Anderson average, in the mid 40s this last year into this year, right? And come at the international level and play, he just showed he didn't have any clue, right? As to what he was doing out there in the middle, right? And as I said, much respect to the player. I'm not trying to pick on anyone in particular. I respect Kevlan Anderson. He made some really good runs in the West Indies Championship, but we have to be questioning our structure here in the West Indies in terms of developing our players for international cricket. We have to question all of these things, because obviously something is wrong with the structure of our cricket. Our batters have too many flaws coming into international cricket. The structure of the game should iron out these issues before our players come to international cricket. The same ball Starc used to bowl, to get the Kevlan Anderson out, that in-swinging Yorker, to the right-hand batsman, and he had no clue. He didn't know what was going on, out there in the middle. And he was struck low on the pad, and that was one of the worst, review I would have seen. No one at Sabina Park thought that, he was not out. In fact, it was more commotion in the stand why he, would have taken that review. And I think Michael Louis would have, convinced him to take the review, because he was walking off, and then, Michael Louis would have, told him to review it. But that was plumb. That was plumb. So, and you see, the scary thing about it, I'm trying to think about, anyone in the West Indies to come up to this level. We have no batter. We have absolutely no batter. So we have to continue with this nucleus of players, which most of them cannot bat. They cannot bat. They cannot play. The base that you start Test cricket with is a good, solid defense, and most of our players are void of that. Something has to be done. Thank you for watching Gameyaaad TV. I will leave it at that. Thank you for watching Gameyaaad TV. Please remember to hit that subscribe button. Please remember to give the video a like. When you engage with the video, be it subscribing, be it liking the video, be it sharing the link, be it commenting on the video, that allows the video to be shared with other, viewers. So stay tuned to Gameyaaad TV. There's much more to come. We have to dissect this some more, and just stay tuned to Gameyaaad TV for much more to come. Belo.